Welcome to the MSP Corner podcast, led by our CEO, Fernando Leon, and co founder and CEO of our MSSP, Gregory Morowitz. Each week, the MSP Corner is committed to delivering critical information for the IT service firm industry. We will discuss proven strategies for marketing, attracting an audience, how to become the influencer for an industry, selling value, scaling your IT service business, and building a sustainable IT service firm. I'd say about 10 years ago, we decided that we were going to make a shift with our marketing strategy. We decided, our marketing strategy and our target audience. And that is something that a lot of MSPs need to consider is what direction do they want to go in as far as attracting a specific audience or a specific industry or a specific business. And what we decided was, hey, let's focus on this industry. And we determined specific keywords, right? The challenges, the pain points that this specific industry um, would enter in a Google search. So when you're looking for something online, you enter a phrase, which we call keywords. So we decided these are the 20 keywords we want to rank as the number one option. So how does that happen though? I mean, there's so much that goes behind selecting those keywords first. I mean, you have to determine, you
How
have
how
to,
do you do that? So how
well,
do you choose these keywords?
Well, you have to get into the prospect's mind. You have to think like your prospect because you have to determine these are the challenges they go through. These are this is what we believe they would enter. And it's easy to determine that. It's not very challenging because you're going to there's a lot of tools out there that help you expand, like let's say you're looking for apples, right? Then they're going to Google will give you options for, are you looking for candy apples or caramel apples or and green apples, red apples. So there are tools out there that will help you expand your keywords, and then you can determine, yeah, this makes sense because this, they get more creative. They Google gets very creative with these type of keywords because they see all the relevant or relative searches that are made for a specific service.
Well,
So
you're saying Google does this. How do they call you up on the phone? Do they say, Fernando, here are the keywords you should be using in your industry? I mean, how are you how does Google tell you this? I don't understand.
well, there's a search, there's tools out there that are called keyword research. It's a keyword research tool. There's no call from Google. There's no one's gonna be calling you for, giving you options. No, these are amazing tools that help you determine keywords you should focus on, popular keywords. And once we determine these keywords, we then go to the next step, which is determining amount of traffic. Because if you enter a keyword or you decide as a business, let's just say you decide as a business, I'm going to focus on these 10 keywords. And if you don't go through the process of determining traffic for those keywords, you'll never have any visitors coming to your site. So you have to first choose those keywords, then determine, because Google will tell you, and this is done by marketing experts. These are SEO and PPC experts that will tell you, look, this keyword gets zero traffic each month. You're not going to get anybody visiting your site. You're not. It's not a valuable keyword. You need to select other keywords. So you got to come up with that list so you can determine, hey, these searches are made for thousands of times. We selected over 30 keywords. We focus on 30 keywords. So what does that mean for our SEO position? That means that we rank as one of the top, in the top three organic choices for over 30 keywords. That means that write content. We produce content for through webinars and videos and blogs, and that's what helped us climb the organic Google ladder, so to speak. But the SEO formula for marketing, or for if you focus on marketing, you're going to have to do a lot of research before you dive into that SEO world, because it's not only complicated, it is challenging. If you're not implementing best practices, if you're not checking off a bunch of boxes, you're not going to do well. And we did do that. We determined that thousands of searches are made each month for specific keywords, and then we just started producing content. And I mean, we're talking quality, unique content that tells Google that you are the authority. You are the person that is you're a legitimate business, and you provide quality services. And content helps you climb that Google ladder.
So you said we ranked number one, or on how many keywords? 30? And what about all the other keywords? How many
Well,
other, how well
y-
do we do on those?
so you want to focus first, you want to focus on keywords that are going to be searched for by your audience. Your audience is looking for you. You got to determine this audience is entering these keywords in a Google search. But it's easy to determine those keywords once you start that process rolling. And working with an SEO firm, or a marketing an online marketing expert, they will do a lot of this research for you. You just have to give them a little bit of data to get that ball rolling, because they can expand that keyword search for you. They can and then you can determine these. If they expand your search, your keyword search, or your keyword list, you can determine, oh, these are good keywords, or these are not good keywords, or these keywords will be entered by my audience. So it's a process. It's not something it's black and white. You got to go through a process of research and discussions with your SEO expert, because that's just one step, really, to be honest with you. That's one step to this long journey of becoming that authority on Google. Your website needs to be in great shape. You need those keywords that you're focused on, they need to be littered throughout your website. Like, your pages need to be discussing IT support or server support, if you're going to be, if that's part of your keywords. You can't just write blogs about it. You got to also provide a story of what you're writing on. It's just not enough.
When you
You
talk
can't
about
just.
writing, how much content do you create?
Great question. We are producing 10 to 12 blogs every month. We're producing 4 to 5 videos, short form videos on our services. We just expand on the blogs, right? We create a blog. That right there, one blog creates 4 or 5 short form videos. You just deliver a different message. It's the same message, but you deliver it in 4 different ways. And Google loves that. They love videos. They love podcasts. Talk about it in your podcast, right? So you have a blog. You write a blog. You write a blog on IT support for attorneys. You can easily turn that into not only a webinar, but 3 or 4 podcasts, because there's so many areas that you're going to be supporting for an accounting firm or a legal firm or a medical office, right? I mean, let's take the medical industry, and you write a blog on HIPAA. Well, you're going to do a podcast. You can do 3 or 4 blogs or 4 podcasts on that one blog. I mean, you can talk about HIPAA, you can talk about security, disaster recovery, policies and procedures. I mean, there's so much you can expand on just one blog. And then you create 4 short form videos, which provides additional valuable data for your audience. This is all about producing quality content, unique content that is valuable, that's solving problems. You got to solve problems. You can't just be going on here and talking about your day just because you're providing IT services. You got to provide some quality content that is solving problems for MSPs or for your audience. And today we're talking about what should an MSP focus on, marketing or selling? And I kind of got away from that question in the beginning because I get sidetracked with, discussing SEO and marketing. But, you know, MSPs should do a gut check when it comes to what should they focus on? Should they focus on selling or marketing? I would focus on marketing if you don't have any leads coming in every week. That's just the bottom line. You need to implement something that's going to produce opportunities every week. If you have opportunities coming in each week and you suck at selling, then start reading every book you can on how to sell value, because selling value is going to generate more business for you. But if I want to stick to marketing on this podcast, because we'll talk more on selling next time. But let's just talk about why MSP should focus on marketing if they're not generating leads every week. We're just going to assume they're not. Many of them aren't, so we're going to stick to the marketing strategy.
Well, let's
Mark,
talk about that for a second. We were on a call the other day where someone was talking to one of our vendors, and they were worried about the fact that their market in their area was going to be saturated if they tried to do marketing that was similar to this message that their other competitors would be using. You and I both know that the secret is that I believe is that MSPs don't market themselves. They don't do SEO. They don't write articles. They don't have blogs. They don't have unique content. They don't do anything. So the people who are going to do this stuff you suggest are going to be semi-unique, or going to be one of few, not one of thousands, right? It's not like we're advertising for a hair salon in the greater Bay Area, where there's tens of thousands of them and everyone has the same message. I believe in my mind, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that MSPs don't market themselves. They just go with word of mouth and organic growth. They aren't doing the things you're talking about.
no, they're not. You're right. 99.999% of MSPs are not marketing. If you're an MSP in your area, yeah, there's probably hundreds of MSPs in your area. If you're in a metropolitan city and with,
But none of them are advertising. None of them are using SEO or writing blogs or creating unique content, right? This is
no, they're
this is
not.
new.
No, they're not. They haven't even scratched the surface. A lot of them, and it's because there's many reasons why they don't. Many of them have been burned by marketing firms. Many of them are just don't have the budget. They don't have the knowledge. They don't know. They haven't really done the research to become that authority. And there's a great opportunity right now. That window, the MSPs are starting to discover, and as I talk to them every week, they are getting they're showing more and more interest on marketing strategies such as email marketing, SEO, PPC, providing webinars to their audience, building a following on their business page, right? To become an influencer, I call the online business influencer, you also have to follow a formula, and part of that is producing quality content. But to stick to the marketing strategy or the topic of MSPs not investing in it, yeah, they're not. You're going to be one of the a very few that are focused on becoming that online authority. This company that we spoke to last week who is interested in a online marketing campaign. He was concerned with the vendor working with other MSPs, and it's like even if they were, even if it's like two or three of them, I highly doubt they're going to be going into the same meeting. They're going to be attracting other industries or other size of businesses, and depending on their expertise, They should focus on a specific industry. And a lot of these MSPs tend to go with the gunshot approach and try to approach everybody. But I'm going to encourage MSPs that work with us to focus on an industry. They can't go with the shotgun approach. They're going to win more. I know it's painful. It sounds very painful. And I'm going to encourage them to focus on a specific industry. You have to. Your messaging and all your content creation should be focused on a specific industry's pain points, because you're going to increase your chances of closing the opportunity. Because if you walk into a meeting and you meet with the CEO and there's three more MSPs behind you, and you're all going to have the same pitch. How you're going to be different is you're not going to talk about tech services. You're not going to talk about how great your tools are or how happy your clients are. You're going to be talking about the value proposition. Now, to get back to that line of MSPs behind you, how you're going to be different is because you're going to produce 10 other uh, businesses in their same industry that is going to be, they're going to have great things to say about you. If those other MSPs don't have that same list of businesses, or can provide a similar list in their industry, or that is similar to their business, they're going to choose your company. So that's why I'm going to encourage MSPs to focus on marketing to a specific industry. You have to. It just increases your chances of closing the opportunity. And every you want every edge possible to win business, because there's too many of us out there. There's plenty of business for everybody, but you want to increase your chances of closing every opportunity, because you're only going to get, you're only going to get what, 40 to maybe 100 opportunities each year if you have an SEO campaign going.
And so what advice do you have for MSPs researching online marketing services?
Well, you have to first select a group that knows the MSP industry well, right? We're going to have vendors on our website that they can contact, and they can make the choice of selecting a vendor that works with MSPs, because they know the keywords, they know the approach, they know content to write on. So yeah, there'll be a couple of vendors they can work with or choose from. So that will be a good start for them, because it's hard to find a great marketing firm. It's challenging, and there's a lot of, I don't know, I don't want to call them scam artists, just people that are in the industry who don't know how to deliver a quality service, and it's challenging. It's challenging finding a good marketing firm. And I'm going to use the attorney analogy here. If you're going to be fighting charges that were brought against you, are you going to go with the cheaper attorney, or are you going to go with the more expensive attorney who has a great track record? And I'm going to choose the attorney that's going to give me a good chance of staying out of jail, because they're experienced, they're professional, and they have references to produce, to back up their work. There's too many marketing firms. You think there's a lot of MSPs out there? Oh my goodness, there's too many marketing firms out there, and they are just producing garbage. We're not going to call them out. We don't do that. It's not professional.
Well, I think what we see is a lot of basic, regurgitated knowledge that is common,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Have a website, uh, you know, get on social media, have your social media, accounts going and that kind of thing, where we're like, well, of course, why wouldn't you do that, right? Why do you need to be told to do that? And maybe they think that they're gonna just go with the basic information first, where most people have like gotten to where they are, doing the best that they can, but then they're going to say to you, I've already tried like 30 things and none of it works. They don't want to hear, sign in up for a Facebook account.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't
No,
want to hear that. That's
yeah,
just
no,
ridiculous.
you're right, and you got to have leadership in place. You just because you hire an SEO expert doesn't mean he's going to solve all your problems. They're not that silver bullet. You need to have a VP of marketing or a director of marketing that can guide the SEO group. Because most CEOs of MSPs are just, they're techie guys. They're super techie. They're not great at marketing. They're not great at messaging. They're not great at um, uh, uh, picking that audience, picking those keywords that the audience is searching for. They're not great at that. They're great at solving problems, and that's their expertise. But when it comes to marketing, it takes a specific mindset and a specific skill set to make it happen. Now, I have to remind everybody that this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. This is not a quick fix type of strategy. This is work. You got to go, Google's just not going to make you the top choice just because you say so in a few blogs. No. Or you followed best practices on your website and you spend all this money on your website and you have your social media posts going. No, it takes much more than that. And in order to make that happen, you got to earn it. You got to put your time in. It took us a year to become that authority, and it wasn't easy. We produced a lot of content to become that authority. It just takes time, and some guys are not patient. If you're not patient, don't do it. You're just gonna get more frustrated and stressed, and you're gonna want results immediate results. It's like no, it doesn't work that way. And so I'm just going to give out that disclaimer. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. This is going to take time. You just have to be you just have to have you got to have the focus, and you got to execute consistently. And and I have three, I call it the 3 E's, because you got to engage your audience, right? You got to keep them engaged, you got to educate them, but you also have to consistently execute. You can't just write things, you just can't write blogs once a month, or send out a newsletter once every quarter. No, you got to keep them engaged. You got to keep them educated. If you keep email is another marketing strategy we implemented, right? If you keep your audience engaged, you keep educating them, you're going to hit a nerve with a CEO on one of those messages. When you're building a online presence, or becoming that online authority or influencer, you got to follow a specific formula. We have that formula. We're going to be providing it on the MSP Corner, where you can build out the framework yourself. You could follow the formula yourself. I'm writing it myself. So if you follow a formula, you're going to become that online authority. You just have to be consistent. You have to stay focused. You have to produce quality content, and it will happen. You just have to um, work with a good SEO expert. SEO expert, you find one, hold on to them. They're like unicorns, man. There's not many out there, and the ones that are good the ones that are super good are really expensive, but you can find some great ones out there too that are reasonable. You just have to look. All right. I think we've hit our half hour here. So, you got anything else, or did you want to share anything?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, and don't forget to sign up to be a member on www.mspcorner.com. You all have a good night. Thanks for listening. If you have not joined the MSP Corner, go to mspcorner.com.